follow the due process, as I have said. We have rules, we have constitution. When you want to remove, you must do what? Follow it. At the same time, that man that said Obasa took part in the removal of Honorable Abdulwahid Pelumi, Honorable Funmi Tejuosho, and those people that were suspended. And I've said it, let me repeat it. Honorable Pelumi, right? Honorable Pelumi is my brother, is my friend. I fondly call him Boda Wahidi till tomorrow. When he was removed, he was on the floor of the house. Probably he was presiding. When Tejuosho was removed, she was in the house. And those who were suspended, they were around. And there was no involvement of police. And the house, the chamber was not broken into. And fake mace was not brought to the house. I'm not afraid of being removed. Me, I'm not disturbed, but let them follow the true procedure. Having ambition to become a governor is not a sin, is it? However, I've said it on the floor of the house when the budget was presented that I had no thoughts of governorship. But that does not mean what? That I'm not qualified or I lack experience. So, and I still maintain that position. But in the whole of Lagos State, let any leader, anybody come out to explain that Obasa approached me and he says that he wants to become a governor. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's the background to our next conversation, and this morning we have Honorable Olumiwa Jimoh. As you've seen earlier, he is right here in the studio with me, former Deputy Majority Leader, Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. A compliment of the season.
Which is saying.
Yes.
What do you make of, well, some people call it drama, the removal of the Speaker of the House? What do you make of it? His own position is that it's gone against the grind. It's not followed due process.
Well, you can understand his predicament. His predicament is that somebody that has been, given paraphernalia of office for the past 10 years, and suddenly all those benefits and privileges were withdrawn. So he feels like committing suicide. He's committing suicide in the sense that the point he's making is out of point. The removal of the speaker is only by the 2/3 of majority of the honorable member, and they are more than 2/3. And the allegations were itemized and characterized from financial misappropriation, from no respect for merit and tradition of the house, and high-handedness. So fellow colleagues who made you speaker. And it is these people that have the right and prerogative and authority, absolute authority, to remove you, which they are more than 2/3.
But his position is that they didn't follow due process, that he was not in the house when it happened.
Obasa claimed to be a lawyer, which I don't believe is a lawyer. I can't give a case to him to litigate for me and as a person. He claims that it's not due process. What due process do you need to remove speaker? The due process has been done. 2/3 majority of the honorable member, more than 2/3. Don't let me say 2/3. That is the condition. And one of the errors, the erroneous impression got to his head that the removal of governor is also the same removal, and it is the same method you can remove speaker, which is not. It is stipulated in the Constitution, Section 92, subsection 2. State it clearly. You can be governor, you can be speaker in the morning, and your fellow colleague just framed that the cap will put on.
Well, we'll speak to those other details, but the point he's making is that he should have been allowed to be in the house.
It doesn't matter. That is not the law. It doesn't matter. The Constitution is clear about it. The impression he has, which he thinks he has covered, is when he stronghold in some section into the house rule. And that cannot be higher than the constitution of the country. The constitution of the country is still the gromnum in which everybody relies on, that the speaker can be removed by two-thirds majority. No condition is given. You don't need to be there. And you know, it's a pathological liar. Pelumi was not there when he was removed. He was on his way to Ijebu-Ode to see late Senator Bayo Oshinowo when he was removed. Teju Osho was in Philadelphia. Teju Osho is still alive. All these things are not fictitious. You can confirm. Teju Osho was in Philadelphia when she was removed as the deputy speaker, which he was instrumental to. So he was just trying to expose his ignorance, happy over his ignorance. That is what he is demonstrating.
It's like you have a personal beef.
Well, I don't think.
I'm coming. Allow me to land on the question. It's like some listening to you will say, look, you have a personal beef with him because he was also instrumental to your own removal in the House.
Well, you can say that, but that is not the case. But the case is that.
Are you happy with the fact that you were removed?
I'm happy because those are the issues that we have been raising.
Are you happy that he removed you?
I was not happy that he removed me.
So are you now happy that he was removed?
Well, I should be happy. What is it? Why am I happy? One, the process of removal, I was not notified, and I was the only person that was on the floor of the House. Indeed, I was the one presiding as the majority leader then. The Honorable S.O.B. Agumbi-Ade, who is my senior in the university, and also the majority leader, was on leave of absence on medical ground. So I presided over that day and I saw the process. I didn't challenge it because he was able to coerce and intimidate members to sign for my removal. But I take it with good faith. I know.
But what do you think informed your removal at the time?
Because I do challenge him on some of the policies and some of the ideas that is anti-democratic, anti-development, and anti-due process that are always been. And for some of us that grew up from the radical tradition in the student movement, we can't keep quiet. And Paul Baran, I quoted Paul Baran that the desire to tell the truth is the only condition of being an intellectual. Others are just courage and readiness to carry on the rational inquiry. And when we accuse him of some of the things, he was able to manipulate the new members who eventually removed him now, that they were trying to destabilize his government. And I'm happy that it is the new members now who are now ranking out that now saw merit in what we have been saying then and removed him, and he left the place with ignominy and disgrace.
But he still holds very firmly to the fact that he was not rightly removed because he was not seated at the time.
He doesn't need to sit on it. Look at the Constitution that talks about the removal.
Well, you said that earlier.
Let me repeat it for emphasis. He doesn't need to be here. You just need to talk to remove it. You are first among equals. And one of the errors that got to his head is that he felt in his own wisdom that the removal of the governor should be equivalent to the removal of the speaker. The removal of governors requires ratification, and perhaps the CJ setting up a committee to do one or two things. But his own removal, his survival relies on his fellow colleagues.
But there is something that he's also said over and over again, that it's unimaginable for anyone to say that he built a gate with 60 billion naira, whatever it is, and that he has documents to back every...
He can have anything he has. The principal officer who should serve as his own decision maker, we are not part of the decision they are not part of the discussion that led to the decision. So if those ones are saying they don't know anything about that, it is now left for the anti-graft agency, the EFCC, the ICPC, and the bureau, this bureau at Alagbon, investigation bureau of the police that has been existing before EFCC and ICPC, to investigate him. If it is found wanted, yes. That is when the idea and the theory of fearing can comes in. Yes, I agree with some who says that fearing, but it is left for the anti-graft agency to prove, to investigate whether but it was not properly. The other fellow, the fellow principal officer, have denied that they were not part of the decision and discussion that led to the... Because that gate, people don't know that is made for the speaker, not for every other member. It's because the governor has a special gate that he comes in. It doesn't matter. You are just one among equals. And that is what the fellow members are saying. And that is what we have been saying from time immemorial. And it has appeared now. When the former members who are now ranking now don't see merit in some of the argument that this man, the way he's going, I know he has survived on the economy of the House of Assembly government for over 2.5 decades. When he is not seeing the paraphernalia of office now, he feels like committing suicide. So and that is what you have seen, that he has demonstrated in the
So he still claims, he still says over and over again that he is still the bona fide speaker of the Lagos State Assembly. Just a second. So what, should he appear at the House of Assembly and say he's going to sit in the office of the speaker, what happens?
It's going to lead to his suspension. He knows the implication. He has been in the House for almost 2 decades. So that is, if I were to be in the House, I'm going to move motion for his suspension. Okay. And what is the reason for that? For you to be removed by almost 33, 34, which is more than 2/3, as the Constitution requires. You know what is giving him privilege and undue spellout? When he was the chairman of Speakers Conference, he has smuggled in some sections that the removal of the speaker, we must notify him for his removal, at least a week or 2 weeks.
So you're saying that the rule of the House, now the members of the House of Assembly in Lagos State, they suspended their own rules simply because they want to remove the speaker. Is that what you're saying?
No, the House, the Constitution is the ground norm. And let me even say this.
So are you saying then, just to be clear, I mean, we know what the Constitution says, but then there are those who would argue that the rules of the House are based on the provisions of the Constitution. It is based on the Constitution. So if he says, look, they didn't follow due process simply because the rules say so. He's a
frustrated human being.
But you just said that the rules made a statement.
Yes, the rule has been suspended. What the intelligence...
So the House has the authority to suspend the rules.
They have the authority. Because the Constitution gave the House the singular prerogative to regulate his rules. And one of the regulations is to suspend the House rules, in which he has succeeded in manipulating members. Okay. So that one is out of place.
Okay. Well, my colleague, Kayla, I'm very sure that Kayla also has a number of issues to raise. Kayla, go ahead.
You know, the security around the Lagos State Assembly is being beefed up this morning. There's... I don't want to call it tension, but a lot of people worried about what may happen because plenary is supposed to hold today. In fact, what our correspondent in Lagos is telling us is that you're not allowed within the premises. You have to show your ID card before you go in. But you see, Mr. Mudashiru Obasa says he remains Speaker. I think maybe that's part of what some of the rank is. He says he remains Speaker. He was welcomed by the APC, you know, grand reception. Says having governorship ambition is not a crime. At least we saw from there, I can see you waving your hands, we saw that he was being welcomed by some members, maybe not all of the members of the APC, but some members of the APC, you know, welcomed him, did a reception. He said, look, having governorship ambition is not a crime, you know, and whatnot. So when you look at the situation and the fears that many people may be having about today, what do you think is going to play out today? What if he shows up at the place? How do you think it's going to unfold?
My understanding of the parliament, having been in the parliament for 12 years, he claims that he's still the speaker, which I think he knows the implication is automatic suspension, which I feel that those who were left behind there, who are now ranking now, and I feel that he should be suspended for that, for claiming. It's an impersonation. Impersonation means we have a speaker that was elected. You see, one thing about the parliament is that the parliament it's a different ball game. When we were raising the issues of his not leading the house well, and there are some infractions, some felt in their wisdom that we should just ignore because it's one of us. But I argued, oneness is not the same thing as sameness. But since the majority don't want it to be discussed and in the open, we allowed the majority to take their way. But having demonstrated what he did on Saturday, you called that you want to pick your personal belongings, and out of the modesty the new leadership allows you. I don't see the reason why you turn that place to a press conference and exhibiting your ignorance and happy over your ignorance. The ignorance he is happy over is it was removed by 2/3 majority, and those who are not in the country were even ready to sign that for his removal because he has been oppressing them. And I've argued that when we see things that are peculiar, exceptional, and specific to us, we must begin to think of things, we must begin to look at things that we have overlooked. And that is what exactly the new members and the current ranking member that are there did. And he was removed, and he should just...
Honorable Jimo, I want to be able to get your thoughts on this, because one of the thought processes about this situation, sorry to interrupt, one of the thought processes going on about the situation is, well, you know, removed for misappropriation of funds and abuse of office. Was there some kind of panel of inquiry that was set up? Was he found guilty of these accusations that have been made against him?
I have a better position. Whether it's guilty of some of the allegations, especially on financial issues.
Misappropriation.
Left for the anti-graft agencies like EFCC, ICPC, the one in Alagbon, what do they call it now, that have existed before EFCC and ICPC, Criminal Investigation Department, to investigate him. That is why I think in the wisdom of the honorable members that are in the House now, don't subject that to debate. They don't subject it to debate in the sense that those are the anti-graft agency that have the singular prerogatives to investigate him. And I think they will do at appropriate time. But the House has done what is expected of them. He was suspended, and they itemized and they characterized some of his misdeeds, which we have been pushing from the beginning of the session. You know...
Yeah, Honorable Jimo, I just need that clarification. I want to be able to get that clarification from you. Honorable Jimo, I just need that clarification. The accusations that have been made against Mr. Mudashiru Obasa, have they been tabled before any anti-corruption agency?
Hello?
Honorable Jimo, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I said, I just want that clarification, just so we can be clear. The accusations that have been made against Mudashiru Obasa, have those accusations been brought before any anti-corruption agency?
There are so many issues before the anti-corruption agency. I don't know what is delaying the process. Maybe they are short of staff, I don't know. I can't hold brief for them. But I think there are substantial allegations we've read in the social media, and that is in front of written by a civil society and human rights organization about its mismanagement and how it's managing the affairs of the House. That one is left for the anti-corruption agency to take up. And in respect of its removal, the due process was removed. He also argued that his impeachment is not the same thing as removal. They are all nouns. Now it's not, even some can be adjectival phrase. But the point is that it was constituted at the appropriate place, and the process was completely done. So its removal is known by the law. You see what happened when the budget presentation, which people have celebrated that it delayed the governor for 4 or 5 hours. Yes, it's unethical. But you don't even consider what I called the community of diplomats, who are foreign diplomats, who represent various countries, that he also delayed. They left that place with annoyance for the conduct he has presented, that he has demonstrated that day. And you know, those people will report back to their various countries about his conduct, about his misbehavior. How can such person becomes Speaker of the House? It's quite unfortunate that he was the Speaker then, that has been removed now. But the reports and the feelers we are getting from other diplomatic missions is not palatable. It shows that he reduced, which I know, he reduced the standard of the House of Assembly back to the background, which I think the new leadership should take up as a serious matter now. The
issues a lot of people will be worried about is, you know, when we see these sorts of political rancor, especially in state assemblies, it's the grass that suffers, it's governance in the state that is impacted. Do you think that this impasse, because it's an impasse for now, it's not Uhuru yet, do you think it will impact governance in Lagos State in any way, especially at the grassroots levels?
I don't think it has any impact that people were. You can see the bodies of permanent secretary that went to the House of Assembly to see the new speaker. They were all rejoicing, just the way the staffers of the House of Assembly were rejoicing. You know, if you remember this section in the Bible, Psalm 126, if my memory carries me right, that when the Lord turned against the captivity of Zion, those people were like them that dreams. They were like the liberated people that have been kept in captivity for so long. They were happy that he was removed because he reduced the standard of House of Assembly to zero. And these are the issues that we have always been raising that led to our suspension then. But I'm happy and gratified that the new members who didn't see merit in our position then, or some see the merit, but feel that getting closer to him, they will get personal gratification. They were terribly disappointed. So they were the one that champions his removal, and he left the place. He was removed with ignominy and disgrace, and a lot of people were happy over that. And what I'm saying, a lot of people were happy over that. He deliberately will take level 10, 12 to head a department, which ordinarily level 17 is there.
Okay. So what do you see happening going forward?
Well, happening forward that the new leadership has to reverse, and they've suspended the rules, which he has succeeded in manipulating, smuggling in some sections. Let me cite a section. A section that the removal of Speaker, you must give him a week or 2 weeks notification, which is not the constitutional. The Constitution is still the ground norm that dictates, but the Constitution gave us the prerogative to regulate our proceedings. It hides under that to manipulate and, you know, smuggle in subsection to suit his own. When he was the speaker, when he was the chairman of Speakers Conference, he smuggled in subsection. Myself and SOB were antagonistic to those sections, that we should notify him before his removal.
Well, as some people would say, I guess the morning shows the day. This is just the beginning of days, I guess. So we have to wait, because as we always hear, we could wake up tomorrow morning and we hear it's a family matter. It's always been already been resolved. I guess we'll wait for those days.
What?
Well, I mean, we'll wait. So one of those days we'll probably have to call you back.
I'm not saying,
just to answer some of those issues again.
Let me demystify your already mystified position. It can't be a family matter. This is a person that is arrogant to the leadership of the party.
Again, we will wait to see. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Honorable Olumoyiwa Jimoh is former Deputy Majority Leader, Lagos State House of Assembly. Again, thank you for your time and your perspectives.
Thank you.
A comment or two from you before we go this morning. Honorable Ademola Alalade says, Very impressive development in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and congrats to the new minister. But one question that we need to ask is, what are the security arrangements put in place to secure all our IDP camps to protect facilities and displaced citizens? Kayla.
Professor Enakena, he says, reducing poverty in an emerging economy like Nigeria entails improving the country's economic productivity and opportunities for its citizens. This will mean investing in human capital potential and creating jobs for women and young people, increasing financial access and opportunities for these groups in rural communities, suburbs, and advancing technological innovation. And Festus Akimboyewa is next. He says, praying that the current minister of Humanitarian Affairs will get it right this time. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs must take into consideration the specific challenges and vulnerabilities IDPs and displaced people face in the ministry's plan and respond effectively to disasters and outbreaks of disease in IDP camps. They must not be neglected in any way. Thank you all so much for your messages this Monday morning. The accountability question is being asked, and that is progress. So let us listen up to our government officials, ensure that they deliver on the things that they have promised. I like the fact that our human capital development has become something that we are moving towards, because we cannot be building infrastructure for people who are not going to be using it, or who are seeing it as a way to steal or use it to feed themselves, you know. So let's keep the momentum going and ensure that these people in office give us the accountability that we ask for. And Kayla, Megwa, have a great rest of your week, Ayo.
Ayo Makinde, just to say, Honorable Alala, they got your message again that's talking about the former speaker being properly removed. Well, that's your own opinion. How many other people agree with you? I guess we'll see in days to come. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a productive week.